Merriman.
Number 3, please, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Justin Tomlinson.
With permission, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to answer question 3 with question 8. We support disabled people to enter employment through initiatives like the Work and Health Programme, which is expected to support 220,000 disabled people over 5 years, the Personal Support Package and the new Intensive Personal Employment Support Programme, and Access to Work approved support for nearly 34,000 disabled workers last year, and we engage with employers through Disability Confident.
Merriman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Employment prospects for young people with hidden disabilities or on an EHCP are much lower than the mainstream average. Supported internships offer a way through, but the take-up from employers is painfully low. Given that the DWP is responsible for overall targets, could I ask the Minister if he'll work across government to ensure that we can use the apprenticeship levy to actually fund employers so that they actually take up more of these excellent opportunities?
I thank my honourable friend, who's been a real champion in pushing forward the opportunities created through supported internships and traineeships, and our efforts to open up apprenticeships to those with learning disabilities. And I will continue to work with the Department of Education and BEIS to increase awareness amongst employers. I very much welcome the fact that last year in Access to Work, those aged between 16 and 24 saw a 28% increase in take-up, in part because of the expansion of the supported internships.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Specsavers in Cheltenham has teamed up with the GEM project to recruit people with disabilities into the world of work, and the impact has been transformational, an improvement in staff morale as well as an improvement in productivity. What more can the government do to ensure that the message gets out that recruiting people with disabilities is good for the individuals themselves and also good for society?
I thank my honourable friend, who has worked really hard in his constituency to promote opportunities for employers in terms of employing people with disabilities. And I welcome the fact that over the last 5 years this government has seen an extra 930,000 more disabled people in work, and for the first time ever there are now more disabled people in work than not in work. The key is giving businesses the confidence to realise that they can benefit, and it's a win-win both for the disabled person and for the business.
My concern, Mr. Speaker, is the number of people who are dying after being found fit for work. So further to my letter to the Secretary of State, will she commit to publish the internal reviews that her department has undertaken on those who have died? Will she also commit to an independent inquiry? And will she ensure that if any evidence is found where there has been wrongdoing by somebody in a public office, that information, that evidence will be forwarded to the police?
This government is committed to work with stakeholders and those with frontline experience to continue to make improvements. With the work capability assessment, there's been 2 independent reviews for which we have accepted and implemented over 100 improvements, and we will continue to do all we can to improve the process for claimants.
Chris Elmore.
Very much, Mr. Speaker. According to the 2018 figures from the ONS, that 20% of disabled people have never used the internet. So what steps will the department take to assist disabled people who are not computer literate to ensure their claims are processed quickly and efficiently, and that they are able to enter the job market where they're able to?
Well, all claimants should be advised at the beginning of the process that there are alternative communication ways. And I very much welcome the introduction of the Citizens' Advice provision across the Job Centre network, which is an additional layer of independent support, particularly for those vulnerable claimants who may find it difficult to access the services.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and can I welcome the Minister to his post. As the National Audit Office recently pointed out, the number of disabled people out of work has stayed stagnant at 3.7 million for the last 5 years, because increases in the number of disabled people employed has not been matched by a decrease in the number of disabled people that are out of work. Under the government's flagship Disability Confidence scheme, it is possible to be a disability confident employer without actually employing a single disabled person. So will the Minister now commit to independently evaluating the effectiveness of this flagship scheme?
In the last 5 years, this government has delivered an additional 930,000 job opportunities for disabled people. For the first time, more disabled people in work than out of work. And the National Audit Office also welcomed our joint work with the Department of Health and Social Security, particularly in the area of mental health. And in terms of disability confidence, I very much welcome the fact that 49% of the businesses signed up have said that this has helped them recruit at least one additional member of staff, either with a disability or a long-term health condition.